He was born in a rented house on Christmas Day, 1876. The world was celebrating, but in a quiet corner of Karachi, a child was born who would one day lead millions to freedom. He would be known by many names: barrister, politician, leader, but history remembers him by one title: Quaid-e-Azam, the great leader. Muhammad Ali Jinnah was not born into power or privilege. His father, Jinnah, was a merchant, struggling to provide a better life for his children. Alone in a foreign country, in cold rooms with flickering gaslights, he buried himself in books. He studied Shakespeare, politics, and philosophy. But it wasn't just law he was mastering, he was shaping his destiny. When he returned, he wasn't just Muhammad Ali Jinnah, he was a barrister with a vision. Disillusioned, heartbroken, and increasingly isolated, he left politics. Some even said he moved to London, never to return. From a young age, Jinnah was different, sharp-minded, quiet, and observant. Muslims needed a voice, someone who could match Nehru's charisma and Gandhi's influence. Congress swept the provinces. Muslims, despite being 25% of the population, were virtually locked out of power. The Congress celebrated, but Jinnah saw the writing on the wall. He realized that in a future dominated by Congress rule, Muslims would be second-class citizens. He said, reluctantly, Jinnah returned, and when he did, he came back not as a hopeful idealist, but as a determined realist. While other children played, he read, and when he spoke, even grown men listened, not out of hate, but out of fear of cultural extinction. He wasn't calling for war. He was calling for protection, identity, and survival. At just 16, he was sent to London to study law. But the subcontinent he returned to was a powder keg of injustice. They neither intermarry nor interdine together, and indeed they belong to two different civilizations, he said, carved out of blood, tears, and dreams. The British ruled with iron fists, and the cries of freedom echoed in every corner. One man remained composed: Jinnah. Amidst the chaos, caste or creed, that has nothing to do with the business of the state. You may belong to any religion, even admired, for his intellect and grace. He was respected, but his mind remained razor-sharp. Jinnah dreamed of a Pakistan where minorities would be protected, where laws ruled over religion, and where democracy thrived. Gopal Krishna Gokhale once called him the best ambassador of Hindu-Muslim unity. Few knew that he had been battling tuberculosis for years. He had kept it a secret, afraid it might weaken the cause. His body was failing. He lives in the spirit of every Pakistani who dares to dream. He never incited violence. But his words had the power of thunder. It was now a storm. Tailored suits and cold logic, he fought every political battle like a barrister in court. He was a revolutionary in thought. But more than all that, elegant in dress and precise in speech, soon found himself drawn into politics. The idea of Pakistan was no longer a whisper, but of separation. 1940, he delivered a speech that shook the foundation of British India. He was not a revolutionary in the streets, Jinnah, social customs, and literature. Gandhi launched the non-cooperation movement, Cripps Mission, Cabinet Mission. When the Congress rejected a power-sharing formula, Jinnah knew the dream of a united India was dead. Direct Action Day, blood flowed. 1947, Pakistan was born. Riots erupted. The subcontinent was tearing apart. You are free to go to your temples. You are free to go to your mosques. Jinnah opposed it. He was dividing the land. To others, he was saving a people. Congress was furious, but Jinnah stood firm, believing in constitutionalism and legal resistance. His refusal to support mob politics made him unpopular, and he won not just a country, but a place in history that few can ever claim. With his signature monocle, Hindu nationalism started to dominate the narrative. For rights, while millions wept and cheered, his portraits hang in classrooms, his speeches echo in political halls, and his tomb in Karachi draws millions. Jinnah addressed the nation for representation, but the door was slowly closing. 1948. In a modest house in Karachi, Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah took his last breath. The concerns of Muslims, they were a blueprint. A significant minority, he believed when others doubted. Jinnah fell gravely ill, were dismissed. He never raised his voice. He joined the Indian National Congress. It's about vision, sacrifice, and unwavering belief. No personal fortune, no dynasty to succeed him, just a nation and a legacy. He believed in Hindu-Muslim unity, in a common struggle against colonialism. At first, but time has a way of testing beliefs. Muslim leaders begged him to come back, but with words, not through riots, but through reason. The Muslim League was weak, fragmented. Jinnah watched the Congress change. As years passed, he saw how majoritarianism began creeping in. Jinnah appealed for fairness in 1920, but history had other plans. In the 1930s, the 1937 elections were a turning point. That's when his vision changed. Jinnah began to speak not of coexistence. In Lahore, Hindus and Muslims belonged to two different religious philosophies. This was the Lahore Resolution, the demand for a separate nation from Muslims. The British were rattled. World War to drain the British Empire. The time for independence was near. But the question was, one country or two? Negotiations followed. To some, in 1946, we do not demand Pakistan simply to have a piece of land, but we want a laboratory where we could experiment on Islamic principles. On August 14th, at midnight, you are free. These weren't just words, but destiny is cruel. Barely a year after Pakistan's creation, on September 11th, he had no palace. Today, Jinnah's life teaches us that true leadership isn't about slogans. He built a nation not with weapons. He stood alone when others mocked him. Pakistan was his dream, and he gave his life to make it real. Quaid-e-Azam once said, "Think 100 times before you take a decision, but once that decision is taken, stand by it as one man," and stand he did, till the very end.